All right, we are back in the kitchen with Chef Scarlett and her bowl of M&Ms. What should we make?
Some sandwich.
Sandwiches. We're gonna make a Croque Madame, yes.
They're not real people.
They're not real people. They are real people on the other side of the screen. So hi, real people. So we're gonna make a Croque Madame, which is a French sandwich. I've got some I've got an artisan loaf of bread, ham, a couple of Swiss cheese, Parmesan, stuff to make a bechamel, a little bit of Dijon mustard. When I was a kid, I thought if you had this, you were rich, but really it's just mustard and it's not that expensive. So you can buy that at the store and feel rich. A couple of eggs, we're gonna put a fried egg on top, and then a little bit of nutmeg that's gonna go into our sauce. So we'll get a little bit of our prep done. You can use any kind of bread that you want. I just feel like this sandwich is a treat, and so I'm gonna use a nicer bread. You can use square loaf white bread, or Pullman loaf, or whole wheat, but I really want this sort of artisan crusty bread. So we're gonna slice this into not super thin, not super thick either, because we're gonna be making a grilled cheese sandwich basically. You want a piece of bread?
No.
No? All right. Okay, so there's our bread, and we'll just put that aside for now. And then this is our, get rid of some of these crumbs. So this is our Swiss cheese, and we're just gonna, actually I need to remove a little bit of this rind on here. We don't want that to end up in our sandwich. So we're just gonna grate this cheese. You can use a box grater, or if you buy the, here's the Swiss cheese for you. If you buy the grated cheese that's already grated in the store, the problem with that is it's convenient, but they add typically cornstarch. Thank you. It's the wrong way. It's good though. All right, watch out. The store grated cheese typically has cornstarch to it, so if you're gonna be making a sauce out of that, you're gonna...
Can I do it?
No, I'm gonna do it. I'm almost done.
Also, I have this bar, so I want to do it.
Okay, you do that one right there. If you're buying the pre-grated cheese, it has added cornstarch to it. That prevents it from like caking and turning into a big glob of cheese in the bag. So I caution you, if you're going to use that for sandwiches, to be careful, because you might not get the right consistency on your sauce. All right, we have our cheese grated, we have our components, and we're really pretty much set. So we're going to relocate the camera over here. We'll make the bechamel, show you that process. Really quickly though, we have a couple of components for our bechamel. We have flour and butter. We're going to make a roux out of those. That's going to be our thickening agent, and then milk. So this is a milk-based sauce. We also made the bechamel in Foods 1 when we did the mac and cheese. So, and then we're also going to add a little bit of nutmeg to this, just because it really is a bright flavor, and it's going to really pull out some great flavors with the nuttiness of the cheese and the bread and the ham and all that. So we'll pause here, relocate over here, make our sauce, and get rolling. All right, so we are back over at the stove. I have my milk, my saucepan, flour, butter, and nutmeg. I did heat up my my milk in the microwave, also known as Chef Mike, because I don't want cold milk going into our roux. So, got our pan on, got a tablespoon of butter. We're just gonna melt this. We don't wanna add a bunch of color to this butter either. So, once I get this melting down, we'll adjust the heat and just kind of sneak up on it. All right, so we've got our butter melting down here. And then I'm gonna add in, so equal parts by weight with our flour. And we're just gonna stir this and make a little paste out of this. So we're getting our roux here. This is actually a little bit wet, so we're gonna add just a little bit more flour to that. What you're looking for on this is a consistency like wet sand. We just want to cook some of the grittiness out. I'm pretty happy with that. And then we have our milk. I'm just going to add a little bit in to start. And then stir this. And you can adjust your heat up a little bit. And this will automatically, you guys can see that's thickened already. So we're going to add a little more milk in here. We want a nice, smooth, sort of creamy sauce here. I'm going to also add just a little. I prefer to use like a fresh ground nutmeg, but I don't have one. So we're just going to add a little bit of grated nutmeg. Pretty happy with that. So I'm going to turn my heat off. I'm going to set this on the back burner. Okay, Scarlett is making some adjustments to our recipe. She noticed that I didn't add salt to my bechamel, so we're going to add a little bit of salt to that when we get back over there. Scarlett went ahead and made some edits to our recipes. We have our bread, and I'm making, how many sandwiches should I make? One for me.
No, I need to say it.
Okay.
One for me.
Okay.
One for you. One for Mommy and Bobby.
Okay, so
and
four.
waffle.
How about I make one for you and Cameron to share? This is a pretty big sandwich. Okay, so we're gonna do 3. And all right, here's our deal. Pretty easy. I make sure to keep my bread pieces together. We're gonna use our mustard, and you only need a small amount of this because this is a pretty aggressive mustard. Well, not aggressive, but it's got a lot of flavor, and you don't want it to take over the entire sandwich, okay? So just a really thin sort of smear of that. Then we have our grated cheese. So we're gonna throw some of that down. You can use slices of cheese, but honestly, I feel like when you use grated cheese, it melts better. I could be wrong, but probably not. So use the grated cheese, and then we have our ham. We're gonna load in here. Don't just like put like chunks either, because then it just becomes like a dense hunk of ham. Okay, so we have our ham, we have our cheese, and now we're gonna come back with another bit of cheese. Uh-oh. Again, this is the good melty Swiss cheese. And that was just enough, I think. Okay. So we got that. Put our lids back on. And then we're gonna move, if you have like a griddle, you can use like a griddle, you can use a frying pan. I have a griddle on my stovetop, so we're just gonna use that. We also need to get the broiler on because we're gonna basically toast these sandwiches. Then we're gonna put the bechamel on top, grate a little bit of this Parmesan on it. We're gonna put it under the broiler and caramelize that whole thing. And then we're gonna throw a fried egg on top. So this is a fancy Sunday, I don't care how tight my pants fit sort of sandwich. So we'll relocate, we'll get these buttered up and on the griddle and get these toasting. Yes?
Look at a hammer to put nails in.
Oh, a hammer to put nails in. This is perfect for construction trades. So we'll talk about that maybe in the next episode. All right, we'll be right back. Okay, then my sandwiches, I only buttered one side so I could give it a press. All right, so again, low and slow on these. You don't want to go super high, super hot on your heat because you could burn your bread before you melt your cheese. All right, so we have our sandwiches toasted. We have some Parmesan here. You can use the Swiss cheese on top. I'm gonna use the Parmesan. I like a little bit of a drier cheese on top. We have our eggs. We still need to get those fried to put on top. My bechamel, I did add just a little bit of water to it because it did get a little bit, not water, sorry, a little bit of milk to it. It got a little bit thicker than I wanted. And then we need to turn our broiler on. So that's the heat from the top. So I'll get an inside shot of the oven. So we're gonna get our broiler turned on. And then, yes. Ooh, scary. Okay, so we have our bechamel. We're gonna, quiet please. We're gonna put a little bit of this bechamel right on top. Beautiful. And you can do as much or as little of this as you'd like. We've been eating pretty good lately, so we're gonna go ahead and fatten these up. Okay.
Is it like yours?
Have that. Then I'm gonna take my Parmesan. And we're gonna get some Parmesan on top of here. So there we have that. And then I'm gonna actually grab the camera. Sorry, I turned it off. So I'm gonna actually get a shot inside. So you guys can see. Here's my inside of my oven, but hopefully you guys can see the broiler. So yours either has a flame if you're gas, or you have an element, depending if yours is electric or gas. Scarlett is still working on our recipe there.
I'm making a mommy what's her hair is messy.
Okay. All right, and we're gonna put these right under our broiler. All right, so a little more butter in our pan. We're gonna get this melted down. I always get the butter and melt it in the pan. I don't get the pan hot first because I don't want burnt butter. All right, so you see our butter's foamy here. Got our eggs. All right, so our timer's beeping. A lot of moving parts right now. Put a lot of effort into these sandwiches and we don't want to burn them. So we have these under the broiler grilled sandwiches. Those are awesome. All right. One here. So Croque Madame, basically grilled ham and cheese with a fried egg on it. Croque Monsieur is same sandwich without the fried egg. So you have options here. So we have our egg. Oh, I need to, hey Cameron, go in the back real quick where the chives are.
What?
All right, I'm gonna go get some chives real quick. All right, so we just actually came back from snow. We had the crazy snowstorm. But as the snow was melting, I noticed that my chives were growing. So I have these little chives. This is about as tall as they are. So we're just gonna use some of these and cut these really finely so that we can add a little bit of color. Yeah.
Are you going to put those in our sandwich?
I'm going to put it on my sandwich and on Mommy's sandwich.
But,
So, just a little bit. But what? And that...
Those are flower weeds.
They're not flower weeds, it's chives. Well, kind of, I guess, depending on whatever. Yes, probably weeds. So that, my friends, is the Croque Madame, and this would be the Croque Monsieur. So no egg, egg. I wish you luck. It's a great sandwich.
Can I eat one?
You can eat one, and we will see you guys next time.